Hey guys, welcome back. It's a continuation of the last video where we developed our components in Nativescript, and we finished all the components. In this video, we're gonna run our mobile app and see how it works, and then we'll go ahead and um, walk through the code in detail. Um, the login component, registration component, the Firebase service, and all this whatever remaining components what we did so far. So let's run this first by using tns run iOS to run in iOS. For Android, you can do tns run Android if you have Android emulator and all set up. So let's run this, then we'll launch this. I mean, the simulator will be launched. So I think it started and the login page came up, right? And let's register one user. So right now, if you look at the Firebase console, we don't have any user here, right? The users are empty. Now let's create one user. Let's say call saroj@gmail.com and give 3. Okay. Refresh this page. Okay, so registration is done. So we are able to push the user into Firebase. So the accounts get created here. Now we can use the same account to log in. See, so we are able to go to the home page now, or we are able to log in. So the authentication is done. So the Firebase integration is done. So how we did it? So what are the things we developed? Let's go through quickly and then we'll wrap it up. So first of all, anyway, these are the standard components which you develop. For example, this is the login component where we have developed our HTML page, text field, and we have the ng model, which is for two-way data binding. Like, if you're typing something in the input fields, it is available in this login component or TS file, basically the TypeScript file. This is the one type of interpolation in Angular we talk about. In TypeScript we say. So there is one-way data binding, there are two-way data binding. One-way data binding, like if you populate something by using expression, that is called one-way data binding, which is like, you want to populate something and it's available. There is no two-way data binding. But when you are specifying ng model, something you are associating the model, then that is called two-way data binding. For that, you need to have a model in place. Like for example, here we have the email and password associated with the ng model. Then we have a for that we have a model class defined here, user model, right? Because in the screen, if you look at here, we have the email and password. There are two fields. For that, we have two fields here, a string, right? So that's the login component, and there is a TypeScript file for the login component where we have the login method where we are using the Firebase service .login, and the Firebase service.ts class looks like this. So we are using the Firebase plugin here. We are initializing. Basically, we're importing that library here from Nativescript plugin Firebase. Then we are using Firebase.login, and this is a standard, you can say template or standard way of doing the login. I mean, it's the email password way of your custom login. And this is a Firebase service. This is the register function, and this is the register component.ts file. So this project is there in the GitHub. I will push, otherwise I'll push this project into the GitHub. Then you can refer it from later on. And this is the register component. These are things which I've already explained in my Angular videos, but if you want me to explain again, I can certainly do that. So basically, this is the import statements which is importing the libraries. This is the component, this is the decorator, component decorator, where this, we call this as a metadata, where you define which template URL we want to load for this register component. So for example, here we are loading the register component.html, and this is the selector, this is the directives, and this is the class. We use export command so that like this component will be available in other places. For example, we are referring this register component, the app module.ts, so we are using export command here so that we can import it somewhere else. So likewise here, we are importing this register component. So if you don't do export there, you cannot import it here in the app module.ts. So here we are using ng module. Ng module is the Angular module, which is the root module Angular uses to initialize. Then we have the bootstrap. This is the app component which gets initialized. Bootstrapping the app component is the main component. Then the import. So we are importing the module here. Declaration. We are defining the components. Providers. We have Firebase service here, and we are saying this is the service which you're gonna use. So this is the app module.ts, and then we are exporting this class to use it in other place. For example, we are using this one, the main.ts. This is the starting point, and here we are using importing app module, right? Because we are bootstrapping this app module to, and so when the application gets launched, this is the page where basically this is the component which gets initialized first, right? And then finally we have the app routing.ts, where we have defined all the routes. If there is nothing, no path defined, so it will redirect the login component. The this is the register component, then home component. This is the routes are defined. And if you look at the code in detail here, what we're doing is after logging in, we are rerouting, navigating to the home page. As you saw, once we click on the login button, we redirect to the home page, right? And if you look at the register component.ts, this is what we have written in the register component.ts. Yeah, that's all. It's a standard way of calling the Firebase service.register, and this is the register method we have defined here, as I've already explained, right? So that's all about this video. Yes, another thing is app entitlement.ts we have added here. Without that, you'll get an error. Then we have added the plist file to run in iOS. For Android also, there is separate. You can add it under Android, and you'll have different configuration. Probably I can cover this running in Android in different video. You can watch that video for later. So yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching this video, and hope you learn how to integrate Nativescript with Firebase, so you can develop mobile app and by integrating with Firebase. And obviously, there in Firebase plugin there are different functionalities it provides. You can authenticate basically with Facebook, Google, and all. You can just enable here and can write different methods inside your Firebase service.ts, which you can invoke from your login component or some other component. So that's just pretty standards. If you go to your Nativescript Firebase plugin. So this guy has written this plugin, and it's very standard methods. If you go to this, okay, I'm not finding here authentication. So for, let's say, Google authentication, you need to just copy paste this method and can invoke this particular method from your login component. So Google authentication will be done, but for that you need to use the device. You cannot do it from this simulator. So yeah, so that's all about this video, and thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next set of videos.